Hello and welcome to the Miraculous Lightworkers channel, your go-to place for all things about Lightworkers and enlightenment. Today we're going to be reading the October 21st entry from the Daily Meditations for Practicing the Course by Karen Casey. Today's entry is about teaching. We are here as teachers of God. That is the opening statement. When we question our purpose, we have only to remember our role as teachers. If we're new on this path, we may misinterpret teacher. We may feel too insecure or vulnerable to harbor any notion of teaching others. The truth, however, is that we are teaching others every waking moment. Our actions and words, our body language and facial expressions continuously tell others who we are and what we want them to know. These qualities reinforce what we think as well. Keep this in mind. Keeping this in mind can inspire us to monitor what we teach. We'll discover that we will become more comfortable teaching only love. We will come to genuinely care for one another's soul. Ultimately, we will learn that responding in a loving way to every circumstance will foster a nurturing outcome. Closing affirmation is, God has given me the Holy Spirit as a partner for all my work today. I don't know how many people come into the course and think to myself, I'm going to teach this. I certainly didn't think when I opened this book that I was going to be teaching it because I was a student, right? So what place do I have to think that I can teach anything about God, the unknowable, unfathomable, omnipresent creator of what I am? In short, the more that I came into an awareness of God through attempting to even come close to that relationship that I'd always heard about, that's when I realized I don't have a choice anymore. It came through the text as well, but it was like, I don't have a choice anymore. And it's like, not so much because I don't have free will, but because you're never not teaching. Whether you call yourself a teacher or not, you're always teaching. That's what the Course taught me. You're teaching love or you're teaching fear. There's no in between. It's very black and white. And you go out into the world, you communicate with other human beings, and what you're doing is seeking to find agreement between yourself and others. And you're teaching each other and learning from each other. You just don't call it that. You don't identify it as that. But that's exactly what it is. We're always going out and trying to attain enlightenment in one way or another. We just don't call it that. It's really odd how much we do that's sort of unobserved and we don't pay a lot of mind to it. We're just kind of going with the flow of life. We don't question why we're doing a lot of things. It's kind of bizarre. Why am I doing this thing? This thing that I feel like I'm so attached to? Is it, because I am scared if I don't do these things that I won't be loved? Is it because I love so much that I want to share that love? Am I just in an ego space where I'm afraid, I'm fearful of how I will be perceived if I do not do things in the way that I've been told to do them proves me worthy of love? This is such deep water because we don't often give ourselves enough credit for what we're doing as teachers. We don't think of ourselves as being teachers, but we are 100% all the time teaching, and everything you do in the world becomes an opportunity to teach and learn when you're in that particular mental space where you can receive it and have that experience, right? So it's an amazing thing when you start to kind of open up your awareness to realize what it is that you're really doing in the world. You can't help it. Your only choice comes down to what you're going to teach. Are you going to go out in the world and say, you know what, love conquers all? Or are you going to go out in the world and say, this thing's scary, that thing's scary, this gives me anxiety, and I can't do that because there's so many ways that you're teaching fear and being taught fear, that to get a hold of your own mind and your own spirit is like this phenomenal, experience of overcoming. So I'm going to give you the closing affirmation one more time. God has given me the Holy Spirit as a partner for all my work today. So I just want to touch on that briefly before we close out, which is, if you want to teach properly, being in contact with your own soul, your own spirit, and communicating in that place where you can actually feel the Holy Spirit communicating back with you, that's how you go forward as a teacher and teach what's real and true. Instead of perpetuating the lies that you've been told and anchoring in more of what you don't want, the only way around that is if you realize that the spirit that is in you is there to help you with the process, and it won't lead you astray. It will 100% of the time, without fail, lead you in truth, to truth, for truth. Okay? God is truth. Never changes. You want to know the truth? It goes through you, coming through your heart center, sinking into the space of absolute love and knowingness. So I leave you with that today. Thank you for joining me. If you found this interesting, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment below, and join us next time as we all come together to uplift, enlighten, and ascend. Bye now.